You're welcome to another edition of the Power Circuit program, proudly brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. The Power Utility Company keeps you informed about the transformational activities in managing the national electricity grid. Federal government reiterates commitment to skill development in power sector. Ministry of Power promotes service delivery with Servicom. TCN head reiterates efforts towards promoting robust investment in transmission network. I am Amara Agugoisi, anchoring this half-hour program. The Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godi Jedi Abba, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to capacity building in the power sector to boost efficiency. Mr. Jedi Abba disclosed this during the graduation of 85 engineers at the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, in Abuja.
The Minister of State for Power, who joined the graduation ceremony via Zoom, said the government was committed to building capacity in all sectors of the nation's economy in order to achieve its desire of effective service delivery to the people.
As you state here, that the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, is totally committed to the building human capacity in the power sector in particular and Nigerian workforce in general. It is worth mentioning here that the federal government, through the Ministry of Power, is committed to giving support to NAPTIN in the areas of policy and financial resources to enable the institute to deliver on its mandate satisfactorily.
Jerry Agua said the graduating engineers were trained in the three key areas of the electricity production value chain: generation, transmission, and distribution. He said, with competent hands manning equipment in the power network, the country will be sure of steady power supply and reduction in challenges facing it. The minister therefore urged the graduates to exploit the opportunity of the training in planning their roles in the ever-growing power sector.
I therefore urge you to grab this opportunity with both hands so as to enable you to play your role in the ever-evolving power sector. This program is highly recommended for youth, sponsors, and corporate bodies, so organizations, towards building local content.
The Director of Human Resources in the Federal Ministry of Power, Mr. Ken Onwubiko, urged the graduates to translate their skills to entrepreneurship where they will become employers of labor.
The implication is this: if you're able to do that, there will be a multiplier effect. You will employ people. As you employ, you are 45 years or 40, assuming you have 2 per person, you multiply it by 45. You see how it grows, and so it grows. So the in thing in the world today is entrepreneurship. It's not paid employment. So you have to take this step you've taken seriously. When the institute will be doing their MIE, what we want to hear is that out of the 45, all of you are into entrepreneurship.
Earlier, the Director General of NAPTIN, Mr. Ahmed Nagodi, said the NAPTIN Graduate Skills Development Program, NGSDP, was a year program which started in September 2012 to bridge the gap between academic qualification and skills required to operate and maintain equipment and infrastructure of the power network. Nagodi said due to the COVID-19 protocols, 45 graduates were present at the NAPTIN headquarters in Abuja for the graduation, while 40 others connected virtually at the Kayenji Regional Training Center of the Institute in Niger State.
It is a program carefully designed, arranged, and implemented to build vibrant, effective, and efficient skilled engineers for the power industry. It is an age-long privilege program in the Nigerian power sector, as all eminent and successful engineers who built careers in the defunct monopoly of ECN, NEPA PHCN, caught their professional teeth under this program.
Nagode said the program has been upgraded to include courses on safety and solar photovoltaic installations to give the trainees the opportunity to further develop their competencies and skills. He noted that this will improve their chances of success in the self-employment and conventional job market of their profession.
I am delighted that the graduates seated today have undergone this milestone in the learning curve, getting their hands dirty in hands-on training in the electrical utilities of generation, transmission, and distribution. And they can hold their head high that they are now professional engineers to operate on the power network. I want to seize this opportunity to thank our partners in GENCOS, TCN, and the DISCOs for their support in mentoring these trainees in their network. There is a need for adequate training, especially in critical areas of operation and maintenance, like DSO, meter installation, cable jointing, and lines, to ensure that the power sector builds not only the much required local content, but also highly skilled workforce that will ensure safety of lives and equipment. To the graduates, I urge you to make best use of this opportunity and also remain good ambassadors of NAPTIN. I have no doubt that you have a great potential to be the best of what you can be in your chosen profession. We are adding you to our alumni database in order to monitor and keep track of your progress and also be your reference in your career endeavors.
Giving further insights into the training activities of NAPTIN, the Director of Training, Engineer Mwazu Aminu, said fresh engineering graduates who desires practical experience in power transmission, among others, can be so equipped by the institute.
The program is broken into actually 12-month training calendar, which means we have 3-month rigorous classroom training program, whereby the basic knowledge requirement will be undertaken within the 3 months. While the remaining 9 months actually are targeting a specialized area for the individual registrant for this program. That is generation aspect of it, mechanical or electrical, transmission side, and distribution side. Here we are actually targeting individuals to build a career that will enable us to take up some challenges that can be faced within the industry in generations, transmissions, and distribution area.
The overall best graduate for the 2019-2020 session of the program, Mr. Abiodun Akarutu, thanked NAPTIN for the knowledge it has impacted on them and promised to put it into good use for the benefit of the country.
So NAPTIN has given us the ability to believe in ourselves first. So all of us now have this quality that is in us. Intrinsically, we know that we have a self-worth. And out there, we can do and undo. We know ourselves as engineers, though some of us are not currently registered, neither are we NSC registered. But the things we have learned there is that we are self-independent, and NAPTIN has only given us that.
Similarly, best graduates in the transmission session of the program, Mr. Aluko Ebenezer Murakinyo, said the field practice he underwent during the 1-year training has prepared him better to work in any transmission station in Nigeria.
Working in the transmission sector, I've added a great value to my knowledge, and I privileged to work in IAD subsector in Ibadan. I've able to see how the transmission network is, how they are being distributed down from 330 to 132 and to 33, and this has improved my knowledge that Nigerian system can really be developed so that we meet the energy demand in this country, so that Nigeria will be one of the prime countries in West Africa leading the power sector.
Other highlights of the ceremony include the presentation of certificates to the graduates and awards to the best graduates in the generation, transmission and distribution section of the power sector value chain.
Former Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Power, Mr. Chinyaka Christian Oha, says the ministry is strengthening collaboration with Servicom to deepen service improvement for the power sector.
Mr. Oha disclosed this during the presentation of the Servicom Compliance Evaluation Reports of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) across the 6 geopolitical zones. He further charged the power sector regulator to implement the findings towards enhancing its service delivery mandates.
The main aim of any government establishment is to give service to the citizenry. And I'm happy that following it step by step, going through the laws, establishing the NEC, and establishing the extent that have been able to implement government policies and programs that is under their care. And it's also under their mandate. I'm happy that she has expressed your strengths and weaknesses now, and it's left for you to go back to a drawing board and make sure you implement all the mandates given to you both by the enabling establishment law and that of government as year rolls by, both through the budgetary provisions and other government circulars.
He said Service Compatibility, or Servicom, is an agency domiciled with the presidency and has always been the fore of pushing other agencies towards improving service delivery to Nigerians.
I'm proud of Servicom because when I was in FCT, we rely on them to make sure that most of our agencies are up to date in all their works and services. And we make sure also that the public will have all the necessary services that they need to make sure that they run their day-to-day businesses and that of the government.
The Permanent Secretary also assured the Servicom leadership of more support from the ministry towards realizing the said goals.
But I'm assuring you that as far as the management and staff of the Power Ministry, we will ensure that most of these weaknesses you raised and some of the recommendations we've given will seriously given a concrete concern by making sure that they implement all this and they will straighten their weaknesses.
The evaluation was done with supervision from the Department of Reforms, Coordination and Service Improvement in the ministry. Earlier in her remarks, the National Coordinator and Chief Executive Officer of the Servicom Office, Mrs. Nnenna Akajimele, said the evaluation was done across all the forum offices of NEC nationwide.
We have robust evaluators, we have trained evaluators who have gone round in this process. And today we have their findings here with us. For each location we have a proper report. We have a report on the PEM sector. We have a report that we have prepared for each location. And so this is a summary of all those reports. And so we went to the headquarters and some other states. In writing our report, we usually identify strengths and weaknesses.
The General Manager, Consumer Affairs at NEC, Mr. Shitu Shuaibu, appreciated the efforts of Servicom and the ministry.
We really appreciate your work. We've been working in consonance with Servicom so far. And some of these reports, we have noted all the issues presented, and we'll assure you that we'll work with the distribution company, like the PAMSEC has said, to ensure that Nigerians are served better. Yes. And the issues noted in the activities of our forum office would definitely be improved to ensure that service is rendered in a manner that will bring satisfaction to all Nigerians.
The report was presented to the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Power, who signed it for implementation by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC.
On behalf of Mr. President, who has assigned us this mandate to go around and ensure that services serve the people, we hereby present this report for improvement of services rendered by the NEC customer forum offices around the Federation.
Thank you.
The power circuit continues after this break.
Did you know that our high-tension transmission cables are built to withstand high temperatures except artificially induced ones such as fire? Did you know that burning bush or refuse dumps by TCN transmission tower base or along the transmission line's right-of-way is an offense? Did you know that the fire can cause high-tension transmission lines to snap and fall to the ground, electrocuting living things within the line radius? Did you know that extreme fire can cause the legs of transmission towers to buckle, and that buckling of the main frame of a tower would lead to its collapse and may even pull down other towers along that transmission line's route, causing untold damage to the line? Now that you know, yes, now that you know, TCN is calling on all citizens of Nigeria to please desist from destroying our collective national investments. Be careful, do not set fire on trash or burn bush beside transmission towers or under electricity lines nationwide. Help us preserve the transmission grid and save the nation from blackout. TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
The acting managing director and chief executive officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, has reiterated the commitment of the company towards transforming to a world-class enviable power transmission utility in West Africa. Here is the report.
At the third edition of the virtual conference on power transmission in Africa, organized by Global Transmission Reports, the TCN henchman who made a presentation on TCN's investment and expansion plans said promoting robust investment in power transmission network was key towards meeting the growing power supply demand in Nigeria and the West African sub-region.
This is what we are doing. We have human capacity development. Our principal approach is human capacity development, application of rules of the grid and market, integrated system planning, maintenance for service delivery, and project for service delivery. Nigerian Electric Grid Maintenance Expansion and Rehabilitation Program, NEGMA. TCN Investment and Network Expansion Plan is anchored and powered by the Nigerian Electric Grid Maintenance Expansion and Rehabilitation Program. It is a well-thought-out program with the objective of delivering quality bulk electricity supply to Nigerians, while giving equal alignment and priority to all transmission lines and substations across the country.
He explained the core activities of the sole power transmission utility in Nigeria.
TCN, which is Transmission Company of Nigeria, is 100% owned by the federal government. And in TCN, we have two sectors, TSP and ISO. In TSP, they are concerned with construction and expansion of transmission network, operation and maintenance of transmission network, while the system operator, generation scheduling, commitment and dispatch, transmission scheduling, generation outreach and coordination, system planning, that's short term and long term. Then they have also in charge of wholesale electricity market. The whole TCN is licensed by NEC, which is Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission.
Engineer Abdulaziz, who is also the chairman of the West African Power Pool, WAP, highlighted the key projects that are ongoing at TCN towards advancing the national power grid. He said some of these projects are supported by the World Bank, the French AFD, African Development Bank, Japan's JICA, and German's GIZ, among others.
So these are TCN partners that are helping us financially to sponsor some of our projects. Thank you very much.
Responding to questions on the expansion of the transmission wheeling capacity, the TCN head noted that all hands are on deck to take the capacity beyond the present 8,100 megawatts.
Our wheeling capacity is now 8,100 megawatts. So we are thinking in the next 2 years, we reach 13,000. In another 2 years, we go to
13,000, okay.
Yes. In another 2 years, we got 15,000. So when we are looking for this wheeling capacity, it is obvious that we need to increase substation and transmission line to be able to have this capacity. So our system planning department are always planning to see which place do we need expansion, why do we need transmission line, So this is a continuous of what that we are doing. Then when it comes to the voltage level, for now, TCN is not thinking of going to 750 or whatever. We are going to be transmitting a high voltage at 330 for now.
He also spoke on how other African countries can come together, especially for the transmission section, to face challenges through the WAP platform.
That's the essence of WAP, the West African Power Pool. You know, when we come together and we work as a team, some of the countries that are not big enough or the economy is not as good as others can benefit from that. That's why you see, like some of the projects I have mentioned, we have a project from Nigeria going through Benin up to Burkina Faso. This is a very long line, a vast area. So by doing that, a lot of African countries will benefit, even if they are not financially strong. So I'm calling of all countries in Africa to unite together and work together so that we have a common power pool, just like what we have in Europe, so that one country can export another country.
Concluding the virtual presentation, the anchor person for the Global Transmission Report Conference said it was crucial for TCN to share information about its activities towards helping other power utilities.
Thank you so much. I'm really thank you for your time today. This has been really interesting, and to learn more what's happening in Nigeria, as well as the chairman of your work, you sharing with us and highlighting the projects that are moving forward. So we wish you all the very best, and thank you for your time once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will be right back after this break. Don't go away.
Do you know that vandalizing power infrastructure and stealing its components have negative impact on government's efforts towards improving the nation's power sector? Say no to vandalism. Vandalism leaves TCN with the enormous task of re-erecting and restringing damaged power transmission lines and towers, which cost millions of naira to rebuild. Money that should be used for transmission expansion projects to make increased bulk electricity readily available to electricity consumers through the distribution companies. Do you know that vandals are destroying our common national assets, funded with taxpayers' monies, and negatively impeding our common socio-economic progress? Say no to vandalism. Do not condone vandals, because stealing parts of electricity transmission towers and cables disrupts the transmission of generated power to distribution load centers, threatening the national grid, your comfort, and ultimately the nation's economic growth. So don't just walk away. Be involved. Do something when you observe suspicious activities around transmission installations or even vandals at work. Don't just walk away. Report to any transmission office closest to you or any security outfit around your vicinity. Say no to vandalism. TCN enjoins you to work with us to stop the willful destructions of our collective national assets as we work to transmit increased bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. TCN. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity for national development.
As we sign out on this episode, let's take a look at the stories again. Federal government reiterates commitment to skill development in power sector. Ministry of Power promotes service delivery with Servicom. TCN head reiterates efforts towards promoting robust investment in power transmission network. We are glad you always stay with us on the Power Circuit program. You can view this episode and others on TCN YouTube channel. Please interact with us on these platforms because TCN needs your support to advance its mandate. The second wave of the coronavirus is on. Ensure you stay safe. So keep observing the safety protocols of non-pharmaceutical interventions like wearing a mask, washing or sanitizing your hands, and keeping physical distance as directed by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC. I am Amara Agugoisi. Thank you for staying with us.